And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode. And thank you guys, whoever's watching the replay. I really appreciate you tuning in. But we have a very good show today. We have topics to discuss. For example, we have obviously the price of Hex, which has been doing well despite Bitcoin being down a little bit, maybe a little bit of a decorrelation. We have the Fed. The FOMC press conference is at 2:30. We're going to see what they're doing. We're going to see what the impact that's going to have on the market. But obviously, the most prominent topic that we have, the biggest topic, is Richard Hart giving another PulseChain testnet V3 update. Right? He hasn't tweeted in like 5 days. And then tweets another update about what's going on, which is that's huge. That's very big. It's giving us more clarity about what's going on. So, going to be a very good show today. I hope you like and subscribe. But thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for watching the replay. Metastang, what's up, Furu? What's up, Metastang? Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, really appreciate you. Let's just get straight into it. We got the Bitcoin price going into the FOMC. The Bitcoin price is at 29,975. We're looking on the 4-hour. 29,978. It looks like we hit this resistance and are coming back. We retested this trend, this critical support over here, which was which came from where? It's too big. We need to look at the daily to see it. But we retested this critical support, and it looks like we got a bounce, and we're going to hit it again. The question is if we could hold the support again, or are we going to have a serious retrace all the way back to the 18,000? We should really put another point. 18,000 seems a bit much. Let's look at the daily. But we could, but you know what? We're seeing some major support over here. Yeah, right there. That's the line of support. So if we can't hold this support, then we're looking at a target of 20,931. 20,931. But I hope we hold it and we hit up on that 27,998. Much of that will depend on the FOMC, which is at 2:30. And I think I'm going to be posting a video for my Patreons covering the implications of, whatever the Fed comes out with and whatever the demeanor of Jerome Powell's speech is, what effect that's going to have on regular markets and also crypto markets. So become a patron in the description, and you'll be able to see that. But we're at 22,977, looking like we're retesting. And if the Fed gives a 50 basis point rate hike, we are definitely dumping through this support right here. But I don't think that's going to happen. We're getting 25. And we're actually going to get into my tweet about the Fed, which made a very good point about how price movement comes first and then the narrative comes second. But I could see, despite the hawkish demeanor, the hawkish tone of Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, maybe we could still get a pump because people are starting to see that the rate hikes are coming down, which, you could hawkish that up all you want, but that is kind of bullish, especially the continuous decrease in the inflation, which has been pretty consistent. So that's the take there. We might get that pump all the way up to 28,305. We're actually going to we're going to have to wait and see what's going on with that. But right now we're retesting the support, and possibly we get a pump to 28,560. But actually, I was watching Gareth Soloway on Crypto Man Ran, and he said the Fed doesn't want the markets to go up because that'll hurt inflation. So they're going to try really, really hard to make it look like they're very hawkish. But I don't know how hard you could try to look hawkish when your rate hikes just got cut in half 2 consecutive meetings. So I don't know. Will that be enough? That's really the question. If it's not enough, we're going to 28,000. But that's that for the Bitcoin thing. I guess. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I really appreciate your input, as I always do. But moving on, we got Hex. Hex on an absolute tear on this news from Richard Hart about stage 7 of up to the testnet V3 launch is days away from being completed. And then we got like a couple more stages. But we're going to get into that in depth later. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, share the link with everybody. Let everybody know that we're live, please. Maybe even tag me on Twitter and I'll see you later. Um, but yeah, so it looks like we have broken through this resistance, confirmed breakout. So, does that mean that we're going all the way up to, that 4.6 cent target? It sure seems like that, especially considering the imminent launch of, testnet V3 PulseChain. So, that was maybe the news that really took us over that resistance point because we were obviously holding this as support, and we were consistently bouncing between support and resistance. Then we had that slight breakout, looking like it would fail. We were going to come right back in, maybe go retest that 2.1 cents and then go all the way back down to 1.6. But then, obviously, with the Pulse Chain announcement, it's looking like we're getting a confirmation breakage. Does that mean we're going straight up to here? I think that also depends on the 2:30 FOMC meeting, how markets are going to react to that. That'll really give us a clearer picture as to whether or not we're heading for that 4.68 cent target. Uh, Here's the question, though. So if the market takes Powell's statement very bearishly, and there's a big correction for Bitcoin and the rest of crypto, will this bullish news, the imminent testnet V3 launch from a Richard Hart update, will it be able to overcome the bearishness of the rest of the market? What do you guys think? I'd like to know what you guys think. I personally don't think it will, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm just hoping the market goes up. People are very upset. Another thing I noticed is that like people are very upset when you say Hex is correlated to the rest of crypto. Is that such a bad thing? Correlated to Bitcoin and Ethereum that have had Bitcoin having like millions of X's and Ethereum having millions of X's, provided that it pumps higher to the upside. Why is that such a bad thing? Maybe it's even a good thing. Um, but I don't know. I mean, markets kind of have to play out with fear and greed. So if it's not correlated, you'll get your downside when everyone's in euphoria. If you want that, that'll feel kind of like missing out. I guess at the same time, maybe it's a little bit good of a good marketing strategy. That when everyone's not interested in crypto, when something's pumping to all-time highs, that could really draw eyes to it and stuff like that. So I guess that would be the benefit of a decorrelation. But at the same time, you could have all those Bitcoin maxis making fun of you when you're not at all-time highs, when you're struggling, when everyone else is pumping. So I think overall it's probably better to be correlated than decorrelated. And this idea that you could just go up and to the right and not have corrections, sort of decorrelation that people imagine X would be, I think that's a little bit delusional. But it's freaking awesome. Even if we're correlated, we get the yield. That's something that other cryptos don't, unless you're a Bitcoin miner and you dump on everyone. So I'm okay with the correlation, especially because the macros are looking like they're starting to turn around, guys. looking like they're starting to turn around. It's looking like we are approaching the beginning of the end of the bear market, meaning 6 months left, and no lower lows, possibly, or possibly an 11K in price scenario. Um, but I don't think so. I don't think you got. I think 15.5 is the bottom, personally, in my non-financial advice opinion. But that's it as far as the chart. Let's go check out Hex daily stats, which we check on the daily. Crypto bubbles. I'm sorry. Very, very red day. Very red day. Not much to say else aside from that. We got obviously Hex daily stats, which we check on the daily, and you too should be checking on the daily. But we got 480x from all time low. Congratulations if you bought that day 33 all time low. I know a lot of people did. You were up 480x. It's pretty insane. Not as good as 10,000 though, but I think we'll get back there. And then some. The payout for T share is 6.34, one up 0.04 from yesterday, which is awesome. T share rate went up a little bit. Let's take a look at the most important thing, which is changing current holders stakers. Net positive. Changing stakers only 16, but current holders 54. Looking good, guys. The future looks bright. The future looks bright. It's looking like we're going to be one of those cryptos that comes back. Especially considering PulseChain launch. So, like, my macro outlook on crypto markets in general, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, is pretty bullish. Because of obviously the imminent Fed pivot and the Bitcoin halving and just being so oversold and all those things, which I constantly talk about. On top of that, Hex has the PulseChain launch coming up. So we should add to that, cautious bullishness of the broader crypto markets. Richard Hartz is not quite like that for regular crypto. He's saying 11K in price, so we're gonna have to see how that plays out. That's really the only thing holding me back. Especially considering maybe Richard Hart's reconsidering now that there was a delay of the Mount Gox unlock. It's possible Richard Hart is reconsidering the 11K break. The big reason he said that on 11K is because of the Mount Gox unlock coming up. That was postponed until September, and that could maybe, thinking about it, that could maybe have Richard Hart reconsidering 11K in prey. But he's given other metrics as well. But I wonder. The question for Richard Hart is, considering the delay in the Mount Gox unlock, um, as Bitcoin bottom, where we do that 11K in play. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're feeling generous, feel free to send a super chat. But yeah, that's really it for the Hex metrics. What's going on in the chat, guys? Um, what's up, Furu? Let's go. Let's go. A long day ago. 25 to keep things steady. Yes. That's only like, yeah. I think everyone knows it's gonna be, everyone's expecting that 25. The only thing that really definitively need to cascade would be 50. That would hurt. But, Seek 5555 says, "Was good." 5555. Are you following Seek 5555 on TikTok? Be gonna provide the link in the description in the chat. Again, it is important to be supporting the TikTokers. Got a TikTok today, which you can check out. Bit to Sami, which I put in the video for giving me that extra metric. But you should be following Seek5555 on TikTok. He live streamed the other day. I really enjoyed it. Live stream with True Crypto, I think. Crypto Truth. Go follow him as well. But yeah, Seek555 is a machine in the Hex TikTok and YouTube Shorts chat, which you should also be in. Which I'm actually going to do right now. You guys should be in the Hex TikTok and YouTube Shorts chat, the Telegram, Even if you're not a TikToker, you are able to participate by liking and following the people posting in the group, therefore boosting engagement. So check that out over here. Hex TikTok and YouTube Shorts. We have surpassed 200. We're at like 220 now, 215. Go check out the Hex TikTok and YouTube Shorts Telegram today. Um, but Stefan says, "What up, MFs, mother fathers? You know what to do. That's right. You know what to do." Moving on, we got share the screen. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. We got Furu Finance. Are you guys following Furu Finance on Twitter at Furu Finance? You should be. If you're watching the show, you can like and subscribe. But the only thing a hex troll, when you tag, argue, or mention him, is what he is doing is working. They don't want truth. They want engagement. Engagement is what increases promotion from social media algorithms, therefore boosts their following. Stop giving it to them. Yeah, great point. Great point by Furu Finance. Go like and retweet that, which I'm not going to do, but everyone knows the rules. You guys are all wondering why the biggest YouTubers and stuff like that giving information on crypto and they're shilling XRP. It's because the way they work is the reason why they got so big is because they understand social media. And understanding social media is taking feedback from your posts. So if you post about XRP and people watch it, right, there's high engagement, you're going to keep posting about it and you're going to support it. Not that you necessarily care about XRP, but you care about engagement. So that's why you have these big crypto accounts saying that they're crazy about XRP. They know it gets high engagement. Do they really believe in it? Maybe they, deceive themselves, or maybe they just, yeah, maybe they just took the Kool-Aid. But the point is that you have to understand engagement. You have to understand audio's oh, shoot, it's off. What do you mean? Not again. Better? Is it better? Oh, balancing like that. Whatever. I'm sorry. If it's really bad, let me know and I'll actually try and do something. But yeah, you have to understand what influencers are thinking is not what you're thinking. They're trying to get engagement. You are trying to get money. They make money from more engagement. They further their career or whatever from higher engagement. You further yourself from price appreciation, things like that. So if your interest is making mad gains and the influencer's interest is making money through engagement, you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. That includes people out there that are flooding hacks and saying uh, Richard Hart is a liar or whatever, or saying very bad things. They see all these, some often, big Twitter accounts that are, arguing with them in the threads or quote tweeting them. That that encourages further promotion. The algo says people are into this. Let me promote this guy because the algorithm's main goal is to keep people on the platform as long as possible. And even if it's negative, do I still sound like that? Squid sounds better. Okay, thank you. I guess because I'm closer to the mic, but if you keep on, yeah, if people engage with them, they're gonna get bigger, and even though they'll get their followers wrecked, they'll be happy because they don't care about their followers. They care about engagement. They care about engagement. They don't care about their followers. So when they say negative things about Richard Hart, you could go from today till tomorrow. How actually you're really wrong about this. Because this token you can mint it for free. Because its tokenomics aren't good. It did a negative 10,000x. Whatever. They don't care. They care that you keep arguing. That's all they care about. Understand that? Once you understand that and you stop giving them the oxygen, they will stop doing it. It's working for them. Stop. Stop engaging with people that are promoting things that get other people wrecked. If you stop engaging with them, they will stop promoting it. If you keep engaging with them, they will continue to promote it because they care about engagement. They don't care about they don't care about mad gains, guys. They don't care about they care about engagement. You guys understand? So I don't wanna see another big Twitter account, trying to defend their bags, defend Richard Hart's honor, with, 8,000 Twitter followers in the Twitter thread, clowns and trolls and fundamentally unserious people. I don't wanna see that. That's how you could save people. You're not gonna save people by engaging, okay? But yeah, that's it for that tweet. It's only got 9 likes. It should have a lot more. Maybe it's 'cause I didn't refresh it. 10 likes. Yeah, go like and retweet that. Next up, why purchase food if you can mint it for free? Furu Finance again. So you have this libs TikTok video, people just stealing in California, and, yeah, cute. Why would anyone wanna buy something if they can mint it for free? That was kinda funny. Also 10 likes. Go like and retweet that. But notice how I'm not mentioning any names? Exactly, because then I get my point across without giving engagement, without engagement. You guys understand what your heart says? Get your point across without engagement, so you guys understand what I'm saying, and you're not boosting algorithm, you're not boosting, engagement, you're not furthering them, so they'll stop. But yeah, that's that. Um, in terms of the acknowledging trolls, you don't acknowledge people that are beneath you. You only acknowledge people that are at your level or above you. And I'm saying when it comes to, giving negative feedback, um, you don't wanna argue with people that are provoking you, that are beneath you, because 'cause you're only benefiting them. They don't really care about what's right and what's wrong. They care about a bigger account than them, giving them attention. That's what they care about. But, yeah, that's it for that. I guess we got 27 watching. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, I'd very much appreciate it. But moving on. Next up, we got my friend Sami at your friend Sami. Go follow him. Go like and retweet that. And I know he's a regular because the time I said he got something from me, which he didn't, he tweeted it in the comments. He's like, "Yeah, I actually didn't see you say that, uh, but good work, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, great minds think alike." So that is indicative that he watches the show. And he said also, "I'll follow you." So I wasn't sure if it's a account, but he said, "I'll follow you." He is following. So shout out to him. And you should be following him. But he's like, "Now is a good time to tell you most macro funds are historically terrible performers. They only make big money on the recession turn, but every other part of the cycle suck. And most don't do well after 5 years. They're copers." So I know he's watching Furu Finance. We're great minds think alike. But this is absolutely correct. This is another thing that I've been stressing. The institutions are always wrong. Their goal is maybe to get 1 to 2% S&P 500 returns. They're not looking for that 100x returns. They were late for Bitcoin. They're late for Ethereum. They're going to be late for Hex. Don't think that you could try and onboard them into Hex. I mean, you could try, but don't expect that to happen now. It's going to happen after you got, thousands of multiples. Richard Hart is on TV every day, whatever. Point is, they're not good investors. They are late. It is not in their interest to get the returns that you are getting. And even a lot of them are very smart. People think, oh, yeah, but they have the greatest minds. Yeah, they have the greatest minds, but those greatest are not looking to take unnecessary risk. Meaning, even if, let's say, I work in an institution, I would not bring up Hex. I mean, they just laugh me out of there because they would not go near something that drops 97%. I mean, that's just not something that they do. So even if there are people in the institutions that completely buy into the Richard Hart ecosystem, they are not going to promote it. They're not going to risk their integrity. They're not going to risk their job security by bringing up these risky investment plays. So That's really, the overall thing to understand. Institutions are late for everything. Even if they're early, they're late because once they get in on even if they're early, you're late because once they get in on something and everyone knows it, then everyone gets on in on it, and then it's buy the rumor, sell the news thing. But that comes down to what I was talking about with Jim Cramer, why he can never be right because he is the news. Institutions are late by definition. Institutions are happy to buy Bitcoin at the top and then hold it and have like 30% returns per year or 20% returns per year over the next 6 or 7 years. That's fine. That's not fine by you, which is why you have to stop listening to institutions. Shout out to your friend Sami. I know you're watching the show, and I appreciate you watching the show, and I appreciate you providing such good content, for my show. Hopefully, maybe you could come on the show sometime. That would be awesome. But yeah, this one I actually used for my latest TikTok, and I gave him credit. I said on the top right corner, I said, "Source credit for at your friend Sami on Twitter." But I did an urgent message to Ripple holders, but like he said, Ripple dumped 226 million XRP in Q4, quarter four of 2022. I can't believe their whole community has been standing by them for 5 years as they literally diarrhea all over them. To be 90% down after 5 years is embarrassing. Can only have redemption if it goes to $15. Yeah, and don't count on it, guys. But excellent, excellent point. And this is something that people in the Hex community are very familiar with. But unfortunately, people in the XRP community are not familiar with. Not they do not know this. Like there are a lot of people that hold XRP, and you say, "Hey, you know that they dump XRP on the market to pay for their operations, to pay for their real estate, their payroll, research and development. All those things are paid for using you as liquidity, which hurts the price." They don't even know that. They just hear the rock, big influencers on Twitter, who we don't have to name, but I'm saying they just hear the rah-rah of the XRP army stuff. It's great. You're shilling for, it's great for Ripple, they like that people are pumping their bag, but it's not great for you, the XRP holder. That much I can tell you. I mean, I guess maybe there is the possibility that eventually they won't have to do it, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I see lower lows continuing to happen uh, consistently in bear market and bull markets even for XRP. Like they made all time high of like 320, and then they made a lower high this past bull market, this past bull market of like 180, 190 or something. And it's likely that they will continue to make lower highs as they continue to use their community as exit liquidity, regardless of what you think about the SEC. So, that's really that for the Sami stuff. Excellent stuff by the Sami stuff. Now we are going to talk about the FOMC and then our featured story, which is the Pulse stuff. But I guess we'll take a look at the comments here. What you guys are saying. Look at your super chats or lack thereof. But what's going on? Um, Audio sounds better. Awesome. Chad Donner Schwans. Schwans of Donner has entered the chat. Thank you so much. I always enjoy tuning in. Chad Donner Schwan. Um, uh, Hex Squid says, you sounded like you were underwater before. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. Meta Sting, going to schedule a one-on-one. Do you do them on the weekends? I do them on Sunday. I could definitely do it on Sunday. And yeah, that would be awesome. And just saying, I lowered the price, so it used to be like 175 an hour, now it's 100. But, just also to let you know, right now there's a special that if you join the Patreon, you get a discount. So on top of the discount, you also get benefits, and, you can see them here, but, like, for silver, it's 20 a month. You get 40% discount on your first consultation, 20 on all consultations. I know you did one with me before, so it's not your first one, but since you're awesome, I'll still give you the 40% discount. But you can't book it on my website. You have to book it on by email or as a DM on Patreon. So, yeah, I'll link that in the chat. Awesome. I appreciate that. And just a reminder that if you did not book a consultation yet, you can book a free one-on-one at furufinance.com to schedule your free call. You schedule it, free session with me. I actually had someone come on the other day and, this morning, and he's, like, dealing with me, and he's like, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity." I'm like, "No, stop it." But, yeah, you guys could all get a free one-on-one with me if you haven't done one yet. Um, furufinance.com. Book it today. But, yeah, send you an email. Appreciate that, man. Looking forward this Sunday. Um, moving on, though, we got the FOMC, and then obviously we have the Pulse Chain news with big update. Here's everything the Fed is expected to do Wednesday. Markets have priced in a near 100% in a near 100% certainty that the Fed will announce a 25 percentage point interest rate increase when its meeting wraps up on Wednesday. The focus likely will be on Chairman Jerome Powell, who could push back on the idea of a looser Fed later this year. He is on a very tight monetary policy tightrope, a very tightrope, where he can't allow the markets to think this is the end game, said Quincy Crosby, chief global strategist for LPL Financial. But everybody's saying that he's on a tightrope where he can't allow the markets to think it's the end game, but everyone's secretly saying to themselves it's the end game. So it seems like everybody is saying that he can't allow the markets to think it's the end game again because the news is saying that. But everyone believes it's the end game. So how effective could his hawkish sentiment even be? Right? How hawk- how how effective could that be if everybody? And how do you know everybody? Because we look at the news and the news is saying it, and the news is everybody. Everybody's saying that he's going to have to basically put on a show saying that, you know, we're still going to help, but we're going to still going to, our goal is to get us down to that 2% target, right? But everybody knows that either one or two more 0.25s. How's the markets going to take that bearishly? I mean, I guess people would argue it's the fact that if inflation is sticky or comes back, then he's gonna continue raising past, maybe next month because everyone expects one more after this. So possibly, but everyone kind of thinks he's bluffing already. So I don't really, I don't know. Maybe the market's gonna take this very bullishly despite his hawkish sentiment because everybody knows that he's just trying to be hawkish because he doesn't want the market to go up. But that's some food for thought there. If that makes any sense. But I guess we'll read the whole. It's too much. Powell's presser. That's where Powell comes in. The chair will take the stage at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time to address the media and likely try to dampen speculation that the FOMC has made up its mind about when a policy pause will come. The Fed is considering not hiking in March. Powell will not explicitly telegraph such a thing, said Tom Graff, head of investments at Asset Wealth. Rather, he will cite the lagged effect of policy, saying that even without further rate hikes, there will be an increasing tightening effect on the economy. Will suggest that they may or may not need to hike in March, and it all depends on the data. But the data has been working both ways. Recent readings on the Consumer Price Index and Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, the latter being the Fed's preferred gauge, shows inflation pressure abating but still high. December CPI showed a monthly decline of 0.1%, providing hope that inflation is headed in the right direction. Gas prices, which had been in retreat from record highs last summer, are rising again. Food prices are still up 10.4% from a year ago in December. Some of the Fed's own measures are showing elevated inflation. For instance, Atlanta Fed's sticky price CPI of goods and services, whose prices don't fluctuate much, is up 5.6% from a year ago as of mid-January. While flexible prices are 7.3% higher. Likewise, the Cleveland Fed inflation nowcast is indicating the CPI rose 0.6% in January and 6.4% from a year ago, which while PCE was up 5 and 0.5 and 5. Weighed against those data points is that the Fed's 4.25 percentage points of rate hikes theoretically haven't made their way through the economy yet. On top of that, the central bank has reduced its bond portfolio by 445 billion since June 2022 as part of its balance sheet runoff efforts, which means they're selling bonds on the market, which increases the money supply and increases the amount of bonds on the market. Um, Together, the rate hikes and balance sheet reduction equate to a Fed funds level of about 6.1% according to San Francisco's Fed calculation of the proxy rate. Markets are betting the Fed has tightened by just about enough that will be able to ease back in its efforts sooner than policymakers are letting on. That's evidenced by the S&P 500. It's increased to nearly 6% so far in 2023 and a decline in bond yield despite a still tightening Fed. Investors who are taught reflexively not to fight the Fed seem to be doing just that. We don't live in an era anymore where the markets wait. The market stops and takes a breather to find out where the end is. The market moves very quickly and will try to figure out when the Fed is finished. Crosby, the LPL strategist, said, market understands that the Fed understands. The market understands that the Fed understands that they're closer to the end than they were 6 months ago. Yeah, let that sink in. That's sort of what I said. The question is when the Fed gets to the end, the market seems determined to get there first. There you go. That's interesting. I kind of said what I was saying previously, but yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on the Fed raising interest rates? Um, I guess we're gonna have to see at 2:30. I maintain what I said months ago, which is pointing out is that inflation will come down because it's hard to maintain a high rate of inflation because that that means that inflation means that prices are going up, and prices going up discourages spending. People spend less, and spending is one of the main components to inflation. But, we'll have to see how that how that plays out. I'm still kind of bullish. I'm still bullish. Yeah. Um, let's see how the market takes it. Could be often a market like dumps right away and then comes back within a couple of days, and then everyone says, "Oh yeah," because well, let's just look at my tweet here. This is a great tweet by Furu Finance, but it was yeah, everyone is expecting a 25-point rate hike, but the market can go either direction. If up, the decreasing hikes are telegraphing a Fed pivot. That's what everyone's going to say, right? Point 0.5, now it's 0.25. That means the Fed's going to pivot. But if down, Powell's hawkish demeanor implies the Fed will hold rates for longer than usual or whatever, continue maybe hiking rates or whatever. The only certainty is volatility, movement first, then narrative, which if anyone ever has or plans on trading um, Fed FOMC meetings and Fed announcements, I would advise strongly against it, but obviously not financial advice, because regardless of whether you know or not um, what the Fed's going to say, which now pretty much everyone knows, um, it's impossible to know which direction it's going to go. And there's a lot of obviously volume, and therefore there's a lot of trading. Therefore, it gets very volatile. There's usually a big move to upside or downside, but nobody can predict which way it's going to go before it happens. And once it happens, it's too late. So, and like I said, only certainty is volatility. Movement first, then narrative second is what I should have said. Yeah, everyone just the market takes it one way or the other, and then everyone creates a story around it. But you'll never know the story before it happens. You'll never know that the movement that's going to happen before it happens, which is why you just have to do your research and hold for the long run. That's really the best way to win. Trading it gives this sort of mentality that you can get rich quick, or you can make a considerable amount of money quick. And the only way to with certainty be successful in markets is to come to the realization and understanding that there has to be time put in. You have to be willing to give considerable time, meaning you have to be willing to buy and hold. That's it. That's the only way to make it. The people that got rich in crypto, they bought and held. They held through thick and thin. When you're seeing them now rich, it's only after considerable amount of patience. It's not through leverage trading, likely. But yeah, that's it for that FOMC. Now we get to what you guys want to get to, which is obviously the Pulse Chain news. And for that, we go to our, our Pulse Chain contributor, KDP.pls. She's been very good with the updates on Twitter. Says, well, looks like at Korean Jew crypto is bullish on Pulse Chain. So this is some guy with a lot of followers. Let's just say 119.2 thousand followers. Tweeted or retweet this actually. You can't stop what's coming, and then obviously the video of Richard Hart dancing. Um, yeah, so that's great. Nice to see. Welcome to the family, KJ Crypto. But that was cool. And then we got Richard Hart said on the stream 2 weeks ago, he thought Pulse GB3 could be 1 to 3 weeks away. Who is getting excited? I'm getting excited, obviously. And then shortly thereafter, right? We're in the 1 to 3 because it was 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago was the announcement, not the announcement, but the mention by Richard Hart on an interview with this random dude, which I really beats me why he even did it with him, but he did. And he said that Pulse Chain launch is V3 testnet is within 1 to 3 weeks. I kind of think I know why Richard Hart did the interview with him. It seems like that guy probably presented himself as a lot bigger than he actually is. Like, he only has 900 subscribers on YouTube, and he probably maybe shown some of his pictures or other social media accounts where he, post pictures with, like, very famous people, and he kind of probably presented himself as a big shot and got Richard Hart, into doing an interview with him even though he's, like, kind of a nobody. But regardless of that, he said 1 to 3 weeks away. And today, Richard Hart tweeted, less than a million blocks to go on stage 7 of 16 of the Aragon client sync. Uh, Geth EBS snapshots are done. Prism flags and configuration are done. Things are happening. But as far as the stage 7 of 16, I came prepared for you guys, okay? I came prepared. Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to this video, but we came prepared. 7 of 16, which means that this information was not so good. But basically, we have the stages here. But he said here, this is from a while ago at Hexagon. He said, we're mathematically 18 hours away from completing stage 7 of 18. And then 2 weeks later, Richard Hart says less than a million blocks to go on stage 7 of 16. Oh, so 7 of 16. He's saying there's 18 steps, not 16. And he said we were 18 hours away from completing stage 7. It's, we give him an E for effort, but clearly not 18 hours away. It's a lot more than that. And 16, I guess. I don't know. But as far as whatever, as far as the stages, stage 7 is account lookup, I guess. Let's see, Richard. So then you have stage 8 is storage lookup, TX pool. I don't know. Where's the other 8? I don't know. But stage 7, you're here. We got this, and this. It's like too small for you to see. And then we have another 8 stages. I have no idea. Maybe he actually tweeted something that today, but, he said he said sometime in February or March would be tested V3. So, obviously, his own made up optimistic guess, and everybody's kinda just making stuff up as they go. Um, but did he tweet anything about that? This is all happening so fast. And then Richard Hart said, "Block Explorer integration testing, new indexing backend and contract verification infrastructure." Looks really nice, but, I didn't even know he tweeted since then. Everything's moving so fast. Maybe if E3 is gonna be fast, come here fast, but, this was came after I even prepared the tabs for the show. Let's just look at what he let's look at what he's so he had that tweet. Then he said, "Tweeting is fleeting. I really am going to do my best to care less about price and care more about building stuff. Tweeting all day long isn't what any healthy adult should do anyways, unless he wants to be president. LOL." That's actually interesting because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, why are you not tweeting? He must have had a girlfriend. He must be, he must be a scammer. He must not be, he's not giving updates. SEC, blah blah blah." And it turns out, like I said, to be nothing. Just he wasn't feeling like tweeting. Everybody likes to just dubiously speculate when usually the answer is the most simple answer. Especially with Richard Hart, like he's not one of those like petty people that is gonna say one thing, do the other because he's like scheming. Like he just doesn't strike me as that kind of person. As a schemer, he just didn't want to tweet, whatever it is. He didn't feel like doing it. He's busy with PulseChain, okay? So then he put out the Block Explorer, now indexing backend and contract verification. It looks beautiful, guys. Bullish, yeah, obviously always bullish. Let's get to what this guy was saying though. So stealth update didn't even get a notification because it's applying. So far, we can infer that the sync rate was not linear and took a bit longer than my previous prediction of stage 7 completion. That's it. See, I called that out. He acknowledged it. Awesome. Uh, we appreciate this estimation, but he's saying that the sync rate was not linear and took a bit longer than my previous prediction for 7. Being that it's not linear, this actually makes it quite a bit harder to calculate total Aragon completion and actually makes just waiting more worth it than calculating. He maintains, I still think February B3. Okay, cool. Retweet that. Shout out to him. We appreciate the effort. I also appreciate that he doesn't dubiously speculate, like Benjamin Cowan says, like not just this. It's super close. I heard from a dev. Like he's saying it based on things, which is makes him a very credible person. So shout out to him. Go follow Hexadon at hex.com. But yeah, good stuff. So still mid-February, guys. You heard it here from Hexadon, who knows his stuff. Mid-February. Mid-February is when we should have the launch. Um, what do you guys think in the comments? Let me know what you guys think, and I'm gonna take your questions in a second. Just gonna go through a couple more tweets. But mid-February, Hexadon maintains, and Hexadon, I think he's my new guy for real updates on Pulse Chain. He's been doing awesome. I like what he's doing. I like his brain. So shout out to you, Hexadon. Does he follow me? He should follow me. Maybe he doesn't know who I am. Point is, yeah, doing great stuff, making for great content on the show. Moving on, we got from Furu Finance, a little bit of a Twitter thing today. These are the kind of pulse chain updates I find worth mentioning. Cheerleading gets clicks and may ultimately be a net positive for the community, but you have to consider that it comes at the expense of your integrity. If you want to be taken seriously, be substantive. So true. Wow. Good point. Furu Finance. Go back and retweet that. But yeah, enough of this. It's hours away because someone told you. Nobody wants to hear it. And maybe it gets you clicks. If you're into getting clicks, I guess maybe do that. Maybe it's ultimately good for community engagement, but it's not good for your integrity. It's not good if you want to be a serious person, somebody people take seriously and watch for substantive information. It's not a good idea. Don't be dubious. Be credible. And then for everyone who's been saying Richard Hart was timing the market to launch PulseChain, things are happening. It's obviously in the process of becoming ready and not ready yet. It will launch when it's ready. If you'd be timing the bottom, it would be ready. That's a very good point. And why does that only have 4 likes? Any retard out there that's been saying, "Oh yeah, he's just trying to time the market. He wants to wait till the exact bottom." It's like, really? Then why are we in stage 7 of 16? Verifiably, right? In stage 7 of 16? Shouldn't we be in 16 of 16 and he's just waiting there? Or maybe he's really lying about this. It's like, get out of here, dude. Like, just stop. Just stop with the nonsense. It doesn't make you look good. That much I can say with certainty. But I don't know. That's really it in terms of the pulse chain updates. Um, let's see what you guys have in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe, and obviously leave a super chat. But before I get to your comments, just wanted to remind you guys that a lot of people are booking this one-on-one. It's free. You don't have to make any commitments. Um, it's a free 15-minute call. You go to my website, furufinance.com, and you schedule your free call whenever you want. A lot of people have been going into the Pulse Chain launch. They're trying to game plan for that, and they've been getting some good information with how they should allocate. It's obviously not financial advice, but just things to think about with regard to um, how to buy Hex, Pulse Chain, or PulseX when it launches in terms of, their liquid bags of Hex as well as their stablecoin allocations, as dry powder. Um, it's good to get, it's good to get an opinion from somebody else. Maybe not necessarily that knows more than you, but it's a different perspective, and it can really help change the way you look at things. And even if it's not with regard to the Pulse Chain launch, whatever it is, just go click the link and book your free one-on-one today with me. With me. Just a reminder. I had one this morning. The guy's like, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity. I'm like, come on. Not that big yet. But it was fun. We had a great time. So go click the link in the chat and book it today. Um, you can even book it for later today or tomorrow or whenever it is on the calendar. Basically, after you press the book now, get a calendar and you just pick the day. Let's say today at 2:45. And you press next, and then you just fill it out and you book. You get the link to the Zoom meeting and you join the Zoom meeting. Go to furufinance.com and book your free one-on-one today. Free. Did I say free? Yeah, it's free. But anyways, yes, that's that for the news. Like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, what you want to discuss regarding anything I said or anything else you guys have on your mind, now is not a bad time to enjoy. Um, but yeah, that's it. Uh, and then we got Luke Scott still watching your streams. By the way, just hated the clickbait the other day. Which clickbait? I said like Pulse Chain could it do a 14,000x. I was covering that story and I obviously didn't say I said it's unlikely, but yeah, it's what's wrong with clickbait? Everybody's using clickbait. As the technologist says, if you're not using clickbait, you're not doing it right. And it's not clickbait that's harmful. I'm like not using clickbait to try and get you scammed or trying to get you to FOMO into something irrationally, or to invest irrationally. Although I don't give investing or financial advice, but it's just to catch your attention so you watch. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to watch. But don't be such a sore loser. Oh, like seriously, stop. You're better than that, Luke. You're better than that. But I appreciate you watching in any case. Or That's from 2018. What? Not sure what you're referring to. Just, I guess, elaborate. But, I guess, if you guys have anything else on your mind, I'll give you guys a second. Um, if not, we could just end it. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate those of you who are watching the replays. I appreciate you guys for watching the replays, and please like and subscribe. Not it was the V3 announcement video. Which one? Let's take a look. Only because I love you, Luke. Just remember that. Just remember that. Just remember that. I love you. Your channel. Testnet V3. What did I cover there? What do you mean? Time frame announced. There was a time frame. There was a time frame announced. This is when you had Hexagon's thing. There was a time frame given. What do you want from me, man? Like, am I not allowed to do that? Like, seriously. Appreciate I'm here for you every single day. I'm here for you, Luke. The one you I love you too. Thanks, bro. Bring it in. Bring it in here. Um, Last evolution. So was Richard wrong about the bottom? Very possible. Yeah, I'm saying it's people have to make it that it's possible for him to be wrong. That doesn't disregard how he was more right than ever, right? So when the price of Bitcoin was 69,000, everybody said it's going 100,000. And he's like, and he said that no, we're going to 11K. And it went to 15K, 15 and a half K. Everyone was saying 100,000. I heard 300,000. I heard a million. There was this guy who trashed Richard Hart and PulseChain saying he's a scammer. Who I looked. He has a trading program where he gets people to leverage up on crypto, which is very dangerous, obviously. But but he has the trading channel, and he said that we're going to hyper Bitcoinization. We could go to mass world adoption, and and Bitcoin could go dollars. Don't quote me, but he said something to that extent as a possibility. Everybody was long Bitcoin. Mike Alfred had, telling his mom to buy Bitcoin at 60K or something. That's why you had the famous Mike Alfred's mom Twitter account. You had Raul Powell irresponsibly leveraged long when Ethereum was at all-time highs about to dump. I mean, Richard Hart was freaking more right than ever. But this idea that it has to hit the exact target is a little bit ridiculous and unlikely. I mean, it's unlikely. And I know he's done it before, but that doesn't mean that he has to always do it. There's only one price target that you can choose, and there's only one bottom. So, yeah, I think he's wrong. I think he could still be right. It's not like it's confirmed that he's wrong, but people have to consider the possibility that maybe he's wrong. He's not always right, and I'm not saying this to disrespect him in any way. A lot of people that say, "Oh yeah, he's always wrong," to disrespect. I have very much respect for him. I give him so much respect on like everything that he said, and so much of what I say isn't really from me; it's from him. For being honest, and that's not just for me, but for so many people in this space, so many influencers. broadcasters, YouTubers, and I like to think that I bring my own thing, and there are a lot of things that I say that are insightful to people. Richard Hart could find insightful, but I mean, in terms of information, I definitely get more from him than he gets from me. I mean, he probably doesn't even watch me, but I'm saying, even if he would watch me, he has a lot more to offer me than I have to offer, and that applies for everybody. I think he's brilliant. He can't always be right, especially about price calls. In fact, like, when you start getting these price calls right, even though he's not that famous yet, there will come a point where he cannot be right about his public price calls because the market it will disrupt even if, like, the price point that he picks is what would have been the right target for like, Bitcoin's top or bottom, the market will then process that, and it will completely disrupt the market dynamics, and he'd be wrong. That's why I keep on saying Jim Cramer's always wrong. It's not because Jim Cramer's an idiot. Think what you want about him. He ran a hedge fund, and supposedly he did very well, although I didn't research it completely. He's wrong because he is the news. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Jim Cramer's the news. So even if Richard Hart's right this time, people have to understand that there will come a point he will get famous enough that he will be interviewed on television and all those things, and he will have to be wrong. Um, he'll have to be wrong. The question is by how much. But that's really just the way it works. Once everybody knows about an indicator, it doesn't work anymore. And he could still be right in private, but in public he can't. It's just not possible. So I think it's very possible that he is wrong. Um, and that's fine. He's more right than everybody. And if you're waiting on the side, not buying Hex because you're expecting 11K in prey, then you're an idiot. You should be dollar cost averaging. Even Richard Hart would agree with me on that. That like you should not be waiting to buy Hex based on his 11K in prey because one, it might not come true. Two, even if it comes true, Hex might not crash as much, especially factoring in a pulse chain launch. And yeah, so uh, it's possible he's wrong. We're not a cult, guys. Not a cult, but yeah, if Richard Hart was wrong, does that break the Hex religion? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Religion. We're not a religion, so probably it will hurt the fanaticals. Maybe it will. And if anybody holds it against him, then you're a loser. Okay, because Hex is going to continue to make all-time highs, in my opinion. He did 10,000 X in under 2 years, and if you think that, oh yeah, he wasn't right, and you're going to get all up in on him for that, you're a loser. You're a loser. Uh, Last evolution. Let's not make excuses for Richard Hart being wrong. He was bragging about calling the top on the day, not almost calling the top on the day. Okay, I don't care, man. I don't care. Hex is still gonna do well. So what? If you could brag about calling the top or bottom, it wouldn't be a big deal. Let's not make excuses if I don't understand. If you could brag about calling the top or bottom about almost I'm sorry. If you could brag about almost calling the top or bottom, it wouldn't be a big deal. Let's stop making excuses. He's wrong. If he's the best man in crypto, we should hold him to that standard. Yeah. Um, I don't make excuses, and no one should make excuses, and nobody should trade his calls. Even he would tell you not to trade his calls. But here's my question to you last evolution. Do you own Hex? Do you sacrifice for Pulse or PulseX? Because if not, because he was possibly wrong about a price call, then fine, I guess. But if you did, then why are you even sweating it? Like who really cares? If you're a hater, then fine. I can't help you. If you're a hater, I can't help you. If you're a hater, you don't want to buy Hex. You don't want to sack, you don't want to buy Pulse or PulseX when it launches. I can't help you. I don't give financial advice. I just tell you what I'm doing. But if not, then who really cares? He's wrong. I don't care. Do you think anyone's going to care that he's wrong, provided Hex continues to appreciate and outperform the broader crypto market and therefore outperform every other asset in the world? I don't think so. I don't think anyone's going to care. But there will come a time, if not now, that his price calls will stop being correct, at least his public ones. Maybe he'll make a trading group where, like, only a select few people that spend $100,000 a year could see his real price calls. No, I'm kidding. He wouldn't do that. No, that would actually be that could be an instance where he's right, but, I don't think he would do that, and I don't think he should do that. Bitcoin will flash crash. Disagree, or maybe, but not to, 11K. Could be wrong. Finance could be wrong. Um, for real, it is very unrealistic to think he will be right 100%, yeah. The joke's on you if you're holding him to standard that he's right 100%. Like, obviously, he's not gonna be right 100%. Great point, Stefan, thank you, and follow Stefan on Twitter. I believe only a small percentage will believe he would be 100% right anyways. Yeah, if you're, like, making fun of me or anybody because Richard Hart wasn't 100% right, the joke's on you because 'cause you're an idiot if you think that we would be dumb enough to think that, Richard Hart is right 100% of the time. Um, the reason why he brags is because it's good for marketing. It is good, and it is true. But, if you think that we're stupid enough to think that he's gonna be right 100% of the time, the joke's on you. And if you're stupid enough to think that he's gonna be right 100% of the time, the joke's on you too. He's not gonna be right 100% of the time. He's made mistakes before. You have a lot of people in this other crypto community, which I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't give the time of day to a bunch of losers. He was wrong because he said that Hex was gonna decorrelate. He was wrong because he said that it was the top and really double top. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, you think anyone's gonna care, provided that the market plays out like you think it will? Nobody's gonna care, and the joke's gonna be on you because you bought the crappy coin, we bought the right coin, so but I guess time will tell, man. Time will tell. Uh, Last evolution, Richard literally says he's right about everything. That's how he marketed himself. It's not hating, it's holding him to his own standard. You just went on a rant making excuses for him. Bro, you've literally said you mean s you've literally said, or you literally say, "Richard is always right yourself, lol." Are you lying to your followers in that case? Of course I don't believe it, but that's what you guys say to people. How could I say that that's not even true because I say that he's wrong. I said the bottom's in, and he's saying 11K and pray. So what you're saying is not even true, bro. What you're saying is not even true, bro. I didn't say he's always right. So I'm not lying. I'm telling you. So you're lying. I mean, you're not lying, but you're just misinformed, which you shouldn't be. But Chad says, "Last evolution, shave your neck, beard, and go outside and touch grass." Hey, Chad, be nice, Chad. But yeah, shave the neck beard. It's getting out of control. In the years to come, when Bitcoin has hit new all-time highs, zooming out of the chart, the difference between 11K versus the Bitcoin low will be so minuscule that its bottom call will be so much more relevant. Agree, 100%. Great point, Luke. And Stefan, Richard's record speaks for itself. No one thinks he can see the future. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Well said, Stefan. We got 37 watching. Please like and subscribe. Uh, please go to furufinance.com today and book your free one-on-one. Make sure you do that. You can book it for later today, tomorrow, any day you want. Just go to furufinance.com and schedule your free call with me. You get to talk to me. Okay? How awesome is that? For free. For free. Furufinance.com. Go do that now. Touch grass means smoke weed, right? No. Um, Free crypto. Good evening from Thailand. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. I hope you like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you watching. Are there any more questions or super chats or comments? 'Cause we could go a little longer, but let me just take a quick bathroom break, and you guys could say what you want. And if you guys don't have anything to say, then we can wrap it up. I'll be back in a second. And we're back. And we're back. Well, I'm just and Richard Hart himself says he's always right and on Bitcoin drops. I think Yale Hexers are running a RH right campaign. I'm just holding people to their own standard. Have you bought Hex? Have you sacrificed your PulseX? Cool. Like Rich, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Last Evolution, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I like I like Rich. I call the top is getting really old, and who cares if you did? It's nothing to brag about in my opinion. At least I'm gonna brag about. Uh, yeah, YouTube and TikTok, 100%. Yeah, sure. Tell us about your books behind you. Yeah, I don't read, dude. But, these are the books. These are the books. These are my economics books, right? You can get all that information from these books if you just go to furufinance.com and schedule your free call. That's 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 where you'll get all the alpha on these books on economics. Because if you read my about me, I studied accounting, but I also took macroeconomics and I took microeconomics and I took corporate finance, principles of finance. Uh, I'm very well read, right? A pluses, not in all of them, but I'm very I'm very well read in the principles of economics and finance and accounting. No, but seriously, go to furufinance.com, book your one-on-one today. It is cool that I could kinda implement my knowledge into, this stuff, but, last evolution. You don't believe the guy is always right, don't s okay, enough. Hey, Furu, before you subscribe, bro, you may not like me, but I have no issues with you just promoting you're just promoting. Hey, I'm just talking about the coins I like, but thanks for subscribing. Did you buy them? Maddie Allen, dogs or cats, pineapples, or is that one? Yeah. What's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. I gotta send you the link. No pressure, but, um, I was actually thinking about ending it, but if you hop on, then I'm not gonna end it. So, that was the invite. We could talk about anything. We could talk about the Pulse Chain update. We could talk about time pays me or smart, depending on what we, um depending on what the consensus is. We need a 51% consensus. I'll send you the link, and then we can maybe extend the stream a little bit. The link has been sent. No pressure, obviously, but always love having you on the show. Um, What's your PLSX strategy, PulseX strategy on day one? Um, yeah, I discussed this many times, and the majority of the bookings I've had was to discuss this, and it's free. So go to furufinance.com and schedule your free call, but there does have to be some implementation of Liquid Hex, obviously, and there has to be an implementation of stable coins. Although I think now that Hex has gone so low, the risk is the upside. So I'm more into Liquid Hex. There has to be that. There has to be with buy right away, dollar cost averaging, and there has to be maybe some small percentage of ratio trading depending on your risk uh, tolerance, but probably not going to do well. But maybe you need to satiate that. But yeah, go book the 101. Okay. Uh, has many all of a sudden he's in fact kind of a big deal. That's right. Um, yeah, I'm kind of a big deal here. Like not as big as Maddie Allen, but right. I'm actually not a big deal, but through finance, I studied accounting and econ in UG, University of Georgia. Oh, nice. There you go. Great minds think alike. Maddie Allen, they're both yes. Hex gains in this bounce have been so weak compared to the rest of the market. What's up with that? Other coins are outperforming Hex. That is interesting that you said that. First of all, it's not been so weak, but there have been other coins outperforming it, and I wonder what Maddie thinks about this. But a big possibility for that is because Richard Hart said 11K in pray, right? And while that can't affect the Bitcoin price because he's just not that big of a name, it can affect the way, his community approaches buying Hex, and I think a lot of people that otherwise would have been buying Hex right now are not because they're waiting for that 11K in pray price target, and that was actually brought up not by me, but by a very smart guy in the comments. I forget exactly who it was, but it is possible that the 11K in pray call is holding back Hex because Hexkins think that they're gonna get Hex for under a penny if when Bitcoin hits 11K. Because I mean, so I think that might even be harmful to Hex that Richard Hart's doubling down on 11K. But I think in the long run, obviously, once there's confirmation, meaning like Hex hits, um, let's say Hex hits, yeah, well, not Hex, but let's say Bitcoin hits like 40K. I think there is gonna come a point where Richard Marks, and obviously the cycles, the halving's coming up. Richard's gonna say, obviously, 11K is out of play, and then probably we're gonna see a massive FOMO by Hexkins buying at considerably higher prices from there. So I think maybe it's not hurting the Hex price in the long run, but it could be hurting people that are waiting for 11K in the long run because they may not get it. Listen, if Bitcoin actually hits 11K, I think it's that'll do very well for those people waiting. I just think it's risky. That's why a dollar cost average. But that's an interesting point, and I hope that maybe answers it. I think Hex could be hurting in its relative strength to other altcoins because people are not buying. They think that they're getting 11K in pray, but I don't know. Maybe they'll even get it. And Maddie Allen said he called the top on the week. There you go. Does that mean that everything Maddie says is going to unfold the way he says it? No, but it's impressive and it's definitely something worth bragging about. But yeah, um, yeah, there you go. Nothing that anyone has said in the past is indicative of their future I mean, it is sort of to an extent, but yeah, just because I said inflation topped doesn't mean I'm always going to be right. and maybe I'm even gonna be wrong about that. You should do your own research. You are responsible for your bags, and neither I nor Maddie nor Richard Hart or anyone is responsible for your decision. You have to think for yourself. Going to They're all laughing at me. They all think I'm a joke. That crypto thing. Yeah, if you guys are into crypto right now, which you guys are publicly, especially if you're streaming online, to most people, you're a kook. Uh, but yeah, nah, I didn't buy back into Hex yet. I bought Kayla Games and made way more than Hex would have made me. Okay, I mean, but that does not mean that could that could backfire. I mean, we'll see. See how that plays out. But you said "yet," implying that you do wanna buy Hex in the future. "Yet" implies that you wanna buy Hex in the future, which means that you're picking up pennies in front of freight trains. But, Furunomics crushing it. Thanks, Maddie. You're crushing it, obviously. Um, how many concurrent viewers in a bear market at the Hex conference? I think my slot, which was not even prime time, right? My slot got 1,700. Richard's got like 6,000 or something live viewers. And Crypto 7 mentioned Algorand's conference got 500 total. Uh, and Algorand's a blue chip, so that's pretty incredible. That is pretty incredible. But Stefan, very accurate. It has to affect it. No doubt how much is debatable. Yeah, thanks, man. But yeah. And that wasn't my thought originally, but I paid homage. I wish I could remember who it was. If you said that, please, because what he said was, "How high would Hex go if Richard Hart announced that 11K is not happening?" Like, which obviously implies that he could be holding Hex back. But yeah, Michael Light, the last run for Hex happened during a Bitcoin price decline. Hex is decorrelated. It's sometimes decorrelated and it's sometimes not decorrelated. Also, you have to understand that back then it was such a small niche. So small, you're less correlated. Like Bitcoin used to be completely decorrelated, and then it got big enough that it became correlated. So Hex is not big enough that it'll always be correlated, but I think it's big enough that it's usually going to be decorrelated, as proven by recent price performance. It could decorrelate, and I keep saying that it's not. It's decorrelated. It's correlated until it loses the correlation. But also, you have to understand, like even when it decorrelated, there was a lot of money in the system. Now there's not a lot of money in the system, right? Interest rates are at 4.25, might go to 5. We don't know. And nothing's up against the dollar. I mean, that's just the way it is. There is no hedge against inflation, folks, um, because there is this mass buy-in that the Fed could tame it, and they have. So nobody buys gold when they hear about inflation. They think, you know, the hedge against inflation is the dollar because the Fed is going to fight inflation. I think the pulse chain misdirection delays, not transparency, and lack of delivery has been holding back hacks. I'm not until they get those. It's possible, but I mean, what could you do about it, man? Like, tech is late. Cooks in the bear market, big brain in the bull market. Yeah, taking exactly. Oh, that was in reference to what I was saying. Everyone's a kook. Uh, profit in the bottom of the bear is a total oxymoron. But yeah, remember the people taking profit. A lot of them are up like hundreds of x's. They could be up 480x right now if they got on the day 33. If Hex's performance continues to be lackluster, I won't. What? So you'd rather wait till the performance goes? See, that's the thing. You're the guy that buys the Forex and your gains shrink 75%. You have to decide now if you think the performance is gonna be good, in my opinion, not financial advice. Maddie's coming on. He said he's loading up the stream more. So guys, I need another bathroom break. I don't wanna have to pee while Maddie's here. And I'm back. And let me just tweet out the link and say that Maddie Allen is joining me. Maddie. All right. All right. All right. We get it. Last evolution. You're a hater that is soft bullish on Hex. Okay. You're a soft bullish hater. Okay. Soft bullish hater over here. Everybody gets it. These are exactly. They've been explored not just in this live stream, but in many others. The beauty of Hex is staking and not caring about short-term rally points. Yes. You're banking on anecdotal occurrences. Eventually, your trades will fail. You might get lucky once or twice. Guaranteed APY is the only winning strategy long term. Good luck to you. I'm not a hater of Hex. I've never said Hex is. Nobody cares. We care about Maddie Allen, and Maddie Allen is here right now, ladies and gentlemen. Maddie Allen, welcome to the stream.
Hey, and we're live.
How are you? I guess there are a few things, there are a few places to take this, and maybe we could take them in all the places. So you have your project, you have the PulseChain announcement, and there's obviously the Fed. I guess maybe should we start with the PulseChain announcement because that's really the elephant in the room.
I got 25 minutes, so
Oh, so
ask me anything you want.
all right. So take it where you want.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been doing a little tweeting, because it's that time of the month again for the Fed to decide what they're going to do with the world economy. And I was reading some interesting takes from my favorite finance writer, Concodenomics,
Mm.
and that person has a Substack or whatever. I found him on Medium, but basically just brilliant ideas about this kind of, yeah. So I put a little bit of stuff in the tweets, like about how you have this battle between like the Fed and like the market makers in a sense. And so it's really interesting to me, just kind of how we have a chart of future Fed supply, like what they think that they're going to do. We see in May that'll be the highest point that they're predicting themselves, which can always change every 2 months when they have the meeting. But the idea is if the federal interest rate goes down, then the bull market's back. And that could be in May, or if the market starts anticipating and prices it in a little bit early, and the Fed doesn't change it up because the market has overreacted, right? Then that could be something really powerful, because I'm doing a Hex meetup in May.
Where is it?
I'm not saying yet. I gotta get the final details, because the idea is that when I announce like where the city is, then people go in and they like buy up like all the stuff, and then it's less organized because everybody's all over the city instead of like in one place. So the idea is that I'm not holding this back to like build up hype or anything like that.
It's like
actually
a Pulsechain announcement.
Yeah, no, it's a very practical reason. Is like, when you find out exactly when and where it is, I want you to be able to take action in buying a meetup ticket and making other accommodations so that you'll get the most out of the event.
New York, could we get in New York?
Can't say. But yeah, I mean, like what the Fed basically, what Concodenomics was saying, finance's biggest flaw, it often turns the tools meant to protect investors into crisis-causing time bombs. This time, the market makers, and I'm kind of filling in the blanks here, this time the market makers are suppressing volatility in response to the central banks just having excess liquidity in the markets. And so there's always a lot of like macroeconomic psychology that's going on
But
that
what does he mean?
influences the price of crypto. That's why we care.
Yeah. What does he mean by market makers? He means like the people, the services on exchanges, because there's a lot of them and they're all doing like different things. So
I just plugged that in to be like, all the JP Morgans and stuff that are allocated, like basically investment bankers.
Yeah, I mean, so my take on that was that like I mean, what they do really has an effect on the price, because obviously they face slippage, so to speak. Like their buys and sells actually move markets considerably, but they can't necessarily get it to where they want to, because there are a lot of other people that could also you know have considerable buying power. So even if they want to move the market up or down, there could be someone else who has a completely different mindset that offsets it and then completely changes the market dynamics. So I don't know. People make it like there's like this sort of centralized thing that people make it like markets are about micros when it's really about macros. I mean, it's really about the big picture. But that is interesting what he said. So, what do you think about what I just said? I guess is.
Yeah, like there's lots of angles, and I agree that it's macro that defines what type of monetary environment we're in. And I used to like hate Fed printing because it represents like, basically stealing from the productivity of every human on earth. But, it just goes to show the more you become an expert on something, you can evolve your thinking. And now I'm like, well, it'd be nice for people who are getting into crypto to like see the number go up, and that's the best that's the best advertisement for crypto. So if they want to keep printing money and like crypto will be scarce and dollars won't, then like that's, you know, like how else is it going to work that people are going to adopt crypto? Like if you don't have inflation, then like how do people ever figure out that it's important to be in something that is scarce and that represents your ability to store value over time because you did something productive for society without doing, you know, instead of doing something productive for society and then the Federal Reserve steals all your purchasing power in the future.
Yeah, I like what you're saying because there are some people that are maybe like, I don't know, it's not so grounded in reality. And they say, I mean, I guess they kind of say like crypto is like goes against the Fed and everything, but like if we lived in an environment where there was no money printing, then I don't know if they'd have these mad gains from crypto. So I mean, they would have then I guess it's like you kind of just have to invest based on the paradigm. So where there is money printing, you go to crypto. But if let's say we were on a gold standard or there was no money printing, then you go to money and you'll you'll have a retirement fairly easily. So I guess I mean it sort of is what it is. Um, and if you want to make money, you have to invest accordingly. So you have like people like Peter Schiff who are gold bugs. It's like, yeah, that's great. Everything you say is great. But at the same time, like your fund and the way you encourage people to invest is counterproductive to the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of trying to square a circle is the way I see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if an asteroid with a bunch of gold comes our way, then like maybe you want to get into dollars. If like, you know, if like a artificial intelligence loads everybody's private key, you know, into their own wallet and like, you know, breaks crypto, then maybe you want to be in dollars. But
Exactly.
if dollars just keep printing endlessly, then maybe you want to be in something else.
Yep. So like, yeah, I guess Schiff is the guy that the Ash. I guess he's investing as if crypto's gone. Crypto was destroyed. But
Which one? Because his son is a Bitcoin proponent.
Spencer.
Yeah.
Spencer Schiff. I guess yeah, no, it's all some very interesting stuff.
You're talking about Daddy Schiff.
Daddy Schiff. Spencer's not gonna be doing too well either because he's not in the right ones, in my opinion. But
He's young, he'll make it.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe after seeing the debate, maybe he crossed over. I remember he was sort of frustrated when his father agreed to the debate. He's like, "Why are you acknowledging them?" But who knows? Maybe he changed his mind. We have faith in him. But I guess. So, what is your take on the announcement? If I could get, because that's something big, and I have you here, so I would like to. You're someone big. I would like someone big to comment on something big. But let me just put it up on the screen. Where is it? Yeah, there we go.
Numbers loading into database that supports larger integers. So I did a breakthrough on Game Theory Gang last night, the show, one of the two shows that I've been doing for 113 or 14 weeks now. Every Tuesday and Thursday night. So my little breakthrough was, yeah, it's all about integer expansion. That's what we're waiting for. That's why PulseChain isn't out yet. Integer expansion. Do you know what that means?
No.
So integer expansion is that like how many decimal places do you need to like fit all of Ethereum numbers into? Well, you need however many decimals it is plus like whatever the biggest number is of Ethereum that's possible, right? And like they do this to save space, like memory on the blockchain, right? Because the blockchain is a big Excel database that only has like 1 megabyte of space per block or whatever, you know, like I'm not sure what it is in Ethereum, but anyway, the point is that there's scarce block space, and that's important. And yeah, so PulseChain is going to make 1.2 million times more coins. So how many decimal places is that? How many integer like positions is that you then have to boil down into zeros and ones?
A lot.
That get put into the computer code. So when you boil things down to zeros and ones, right? And that's how computers work. Like for anybody who's curious, is like a computer just has a laser inside of it that goes on and off. And when it goes on, that's a 1. And when it goes off, that's a 0. And it just does that like a trillion times a microsecond. And then that's how you get all the computer code that like runs and executes and like creates a beautiful stream for you to listen to. So integer expansion is this idea that like, well, if the PulseChain supply of tokens is going to be much higher, then we need enough space on the blockchain to for, you know, basically slots to put the numbers in. Does that make more sense now?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch this, but it definitely
So
makes sense.
so if we write out like the max supply or the total supply in Ethereum, it would be what, like 100 million. There's like 100 million coins. And so like they don't have enough like positions. Basically, like they can't show numbers that show like a trillion Ethereum, because then they would be wasting a bunch of space where they have to put extra zeros onto every single transaction at the beginning. So it'd be like, you know, having a trillion Ethereum would be like 0.1, because it's 100 million Ethereum that exists. So anyway, so like so the point is that because the max supply of PulseChain, and I'm trying to simplify this, so there are nuances that like both PulseChain and Ethereum are now like inflationary, and so technically there is no max supply for the future. So that's kind of a nuance that's not relevant. So like you understanding that like if you have a calculator, there's only so many numbers you can put on it because there's only so many spaces for each number. And like if you want to get a bigger calculator, then that's what the PulseChain devs are working on, is making like every piece of software that interacts with the blockchain, including the block explorer, which is like our Etherscan. PulseChain is going to have its own I believe it's going to have its own block explorer. So it'll be like PulseChain scan or something. And that needs to be compatible with the bigger numbers as well.
Right.
As does like the Uniswap fork needs to be compatible with having bigger numbers. The, you know, the base language, the validator codes, all the components that make up, you know, PulseChain's fork of Ethereum, like all of that needs to be compatible with bigger numbers.
All right, now that's a very good explanation. Very clear and very concise, considering the complexity of the topic as well.
Yeah, suck it, GPT.
That's right. Why do we need GPT? We got Maddie Allen.
We do. We need it. Yeah, we'll take both.
Yeah, I guess. Well, you can't have Maddie Allen on demand. You could have Chat GPT.
Well, if I load everything I know into it, then that would be ideal. I've like dreamed of that as a therapist. Like, what if I could just spin up like 1,000 of me doing therapy, Chat GPT style? That'd be cool.
Maybe one day. Yeah. So I guess could we get a completely arbitrary and inaccurate prediction for when testnet v3 is going to launch? And I'm saying I hate to be that guy, but everybody wants it, so
dude,
I have to
it's
be
a
that
fair
guy.
question. I said ask me anything.
Okay, when is testnet v3 and when is mainnet? This is going to make for good clickbait.
Yeah. So I guessed that PulseChain would come out in April of 2022.
Okay.
So that didn't happen. With that being said,
well, you were one off from Richard's call, 1 month off, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I said it was like coming out the next day or something. This was not like way forward looking. I was like, oh, anyway. I'm just saying that because nobody should take my opinion into account. But here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what I just said. The Fed is planning to not just decrease their increases, but to actually decrease their number for their interest rate. Right now, what they're predicting, the Fed governors all like put a pin on a board or something, and it's like right now it's looking like May.
Okay.
So what we would expect for the rates to reach the highest point.
Okay.
And then let me zoom in here. Yeah, May they would start to come down. April they would reach their highest point. And of course, what the market might do is say, "Oh, sweet," and then just rally until the Fed is like, "Screw this," and they change what they're going to do. So that's why I heard you say earlier it's dumb to like trade all this day to day or week to week, but if you're looking at a whole to inform a whole macro thesis, and then your dollar cost averaging, and that makes a lot of sense. But so what I'm saying is, look, I'll give you a hot take. I think Ethereum is timing the market. I think the Ethereum Foundation and the software they're putting out, I think they are timing the market.
Okay.
Because they wanted people to think that Ethereum 2.0 would lower transaction fees, but the bear market lowered transaction fees, and they waited 4 years to release the first stage of ETH 2.0.
Because they're waiting for the bottom.
Because they wanted to launch it when the fees were going to be going down anyway.
That's very interesting. That is very interesting.
And so what are they going to do now with the timing? They're going to want to get all their upgrades done.
They bought time.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're going to, I don't know, maybe they're going to wait. Because remember, the next stage of Ethereum 2.0 rolling out is where they unlock all the ETH that's been locked up by the validators.
So that was what I was going to say when I interrupted you. Sorry, but because you totally made me think. That was a very interesting point. But the question, so I said they're saying that the ETH is going to be unlocked. I said they probably want to wait till there's better price appreciation, and it's the same thing for Mt. Gox, because people like buying tops and selling bottoms. So if they release it, when the price is higher, it's less likely going to dump, because people are going to be like, hey, I got mad gains. Let me hold on to this. But obviously, if we're at all-time lows, everybody that, gets the unlock is going to dump it. So.
And I don't know if like the Ethereum Foundation is allowed to buy coins, but they've now sold all of their coins.
They sold all of it? It's all gone?
I think that's what Richard said. Which it's always kind of like a rumor because I don't know the addresses, but basically, yeah, they started with 1 million coins. Now they have 0. They sold every top, and like everybody still loves them, but yeah, I mean, like, who knows? Maybe so I don't really think foundations can like buy, but I didn't even think that they could hold. I thought they were supposed to sell all their coins when they got them. So anyway, I'm just curious because that would kind of influence their incentives, I would say. So there's like 1 million Ethereum that are going to come out whenever the next code gets released, or the next major, like the Shanghai update or whatever it's called. And that'll be super interesting. And that matters for PulseChain a little bit, I think. And some people are predicting, that the next Ethereum upgrade will be coming up here in the next 3 months. So yeah, I think that there's this short-term stuff around V3, but then the question is like, how long will V3 exist before we go live? And I think that depends on like what we know about what Ethereum's doing, what their developers are doing, not what their price is doing, but what their developers are doing, because we want to stay compatible with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll also kind of just depend on like, I mean, maybe V3 is live for a week. And then we go to mainnet. I don't know that would be or could be the case, but I heard Crypto 7 say it, and I'm like, well,
no, so
it's at least a 10 or 20% chance that we'd see something like that.
Crypto 7 said that it was going no V3, just straight to mainnet. But that was wrong because
well, he walked that back in the
yeah.
same episode that he said that. So that was kind of his clickbait, was that it's possible that could happen. And it is possible that could happen. And there's a 5 to 10% chance, in my opinion, that could happen, that V3 goes live right away. And then there's a 10 or 20% chance that V3 is live for a week. And then there's like a higher percent chance than all of that like V3 drags out for months and months and months.
No, well, so Richard Hart said that V3 launch was 1 to 3. He said that on that interview, which I really have no clue why he did that interview. My guess was that because the guy probably presented himself to be a lot bigger of a deal than he is, but he said 1 to 3.
That guy is a inventor of bridge solutions. So I would assume that that's why Richard took the interview, is because the guy is an important person in the open source development community.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess it's networking, but I guess yeah. So he said 1 to 3, which means that we're not going straight to mainnet. There's going to be a public V3. But I guess it could last a week. I mean, I don't think it will.
That's a good point. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. That on that stream from 13 days ago or whatever, Richard said, maybe 1 to 3 weeks or something for V3. But remember, in the Hex 2022 Rewind video, there's like a whole montage of Richard saying that he literally doesn't know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. So if he doesn't know, we sure as hell can't know. But 2 more months. And I guess before we got to your project, because I know you have to go, I just put that up because if you look at the tweet I put up, Ripple dumped. This is guy. I love this guy. Your friend Sami. He makes for a lot of my content because he's very active on Twitter. He's like, Ripple dumped 226 million of XRP because he brought up Ethereum dumping. What are your thoughts on the XRP, the Ripple dumping the XRP?
Stop giving crypto a bad name.
Yeah, honestly, it's making us look bad. And the people that own XRP, they don't even know this. They just, hopefully we could save them one day, I guess. But tell us about, give us an update when launch of Time Pays Me. We need an update.
Yeah, I mean, I
guess how's that going along?
It's going it's I don't know. There's not really too much of an update. I would say that the last update that I did was about a week and a half ago, and I premiered the private testnet. I did a walkthrough of it on the second half of my Hex Therapy Live episode from a week and a half ago. And so that was the first time that anybody ever got to see the PulseChain side of the private testnet. The next stage is I need to finish getting the front end recovery system set up. So like the blockchain code is already finalized to be able to undo a hack and have a pre-selected recovery address. And so now the front end has to show that, where you plug in your address for your recovery wallet that you use if you get hacked. And then I've also been putting in a lot of thought to this idea of how are we going to lead people who are lazy to make a real cold storage wallet. because people will just take a screenshot. They'll just plug in an address that's the wrong address. They'll plug in an address that's the same as their seed that they're exposing, yada, yada. So like there has to be some kind of like solutions in place, like that are kind of on the psychology side of the user interface. Like,
mean,
how are the users going to use this? Well, they're probably going to use it wrong, because it's easier to use it wrong than it is to use it to do the extra steps. So I'm considering like how to encourage people to do the extra steps so that they can have the extra security, and probably splitting the front ends. So you have one front end that's like advertised as, and I mean, advertise, like I'm not paying for anything, but like people are sending people there because they love the product. Like you send people to Uniswap because they love the technology. Richard sends people to Uniswap because he loves the technology. Basically people would be sent to smartvault.me, which is a front end for the same blockchain code, but it emphasizes security and it requires you to have a recovery address. And then maybe there's a separate front end called Time Pays Me that is more focused for people who already understand delayed gratification, and they aren't there for just the security, but they're there to get the mad gains that you can get by holding long term, by time locking and paying your future self, by dripping funds back to yourself over weeks, years, or decades.
mm-hmm.
And then yeah, so I mean, those are like the last two probably major updates. I think there's something I'm forgetting, but people who want to learn more can go to the Telegram, t.me/smartvaultme, or time. I think you can go to allmylinks.com/timepaysme. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the next, basically, so the next phase after that is getting an audit on the blockchain code, and then creating a public testnet, and then hitting the big red launch button.
When launch? Well, that is exciting. And you mentioned people needing to learn about security and like what you could do to make that happen. So I was thinking like you could thank Mashinsky. I think he's done a great deal for teaching people security. I'm kidding, but like Ledger's sales increased dramatically since all the Celsius, BlockFi, all those things went down, which is interesting. But
I mean, even like a Bitcoin core dev got hacked in like the past 3 months. So like everybody gets hacked, and like it's because people were too dumb to like program in the solution that I came up with. So I'm gonna do it.
There you go. I mean, you created the product for the market.
Remember, I called the top on the month.
Top on the month, baby. Yeah, for sure. And RH Max is here. What's going on, RH Max? I have been recognized by the Chad of Chads. You mean Maddie Allen? Oh, Chad John Schwantz.
Well, thanks for having me on, man. I gotta go get another X-ray on my arm now. But yeah, I appreciate you streaming all the time, and I always tell people to go check you out. So,
and I appreciate you coming on, and thank you so much. Really appreciate you hopping on short notice. So I guess that is it for today, guys. Please like and subscribe. Please follow at Maddie Allen. Go to Time Pays Me Now, and SmartVault ME, and like and subscribe to Maddie's channel as well. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time.